Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Funjelah. This is going to be a very, very special episode because it's our 1-year anniversary. Before we dive all the way in, don't forget, like, subscribe, leave us a comment, tell us your attitude or gratitude. You can do that via phone or email. Danielle, tell them the phone number and the email.
Yes, so you can call 747-300-5380 or email us at funjelahpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you're feeling fancy, go to anjelah.com and there is a form there as well you can fill out.
Yeah, you can just fill out the form on my website, leave us a review, all those things. Don't forget to get tickets to my tour. I'm on tour right now, the Family Reunion Tour. Go to anjelah.com, get your tickets, see when I'm coming to a city near you. Okay, that's it, right? Let's jump in. This podcast has been a breath of fresh air that I have needed. It feels good. I'm excited about it. It's something that I'm excited to do. Not that I'm not excited to do all the other things that I get to do, but this, I think, because it was new and refreshing. But the conversations that we've had on this podcast have been enlightening, fun, just a breath of fresh air, like something different and something special. And to me, something that sets our podcast apart from other podcasts is we get to have these enlightening, refreshing conversations through the lens of gratitude. And that has been very special for me to share one of my mental health tools with everyone and shape some conversations through the lens of gratitude. Like, that's just been super, super cool for me. And I've really enjoyed doing this podcast. So shout out to everybody who's been listening, watching, whether you've listened to just one episode or a few episodes or all the episodes. I'm so grateful for you taking time out of your day, out of your commute. You could listen to any other podcast. You can listen to some music. You could just zoned out and not listen to anything. But you chose to listen to our podcast, and I'm very grateful for that. I hope you have enjoyed it. Danielle, how you feel about 1 year of Funjelah?
I know, it's exciting. It's crazy to think that, I mean, so much has happened in the past year just in general with our lives. And so it's exciting to know that this was a part of it. And you can even, I feel like in older episodes, when I watch or listen or see clips, I'm taken back to that moment and things that we've talked about or things that we've been upset about. I'm like, that was silly. I didn't need to be upset about that. Or, or like, even gratefuls and gratitudes. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still so grateful for that. Or I'm still, I was so glad I got to share that story or something. And, my parents have listened to every episode. So they're for sure.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Hey.
I know my cousin Sonia listens, and she'll text me sometimes about some of the episodes that she loves, and it always makes me feel so good to think that my family is listening. And I don't expect anybody of my family and friends to tune in and listen to my episodes. Like, I'm grateful if they do, but I'm not like, you're not listening to my podcast? How dare you?
Yeah.
So sometimes she'll send me a text like, oh my gosh, I love this episode this week. And I'm like, you listen? Aw, thanks.
Yeah.
So shout out to my cousin Sonia for listening. Thank you so much. I love you.
I think all my friends, they just watch the clips. They're like, oh my God, saw your episode. And it's like, it's just that clip. But my favorite is my dad will text me with no context clue. Like, he'll just be like, yeah, that guy that you had was really great, just in the middle of the day. And I'm like, wait, what? Who are you talking about? What do you? And he's like, yeah, that latest episode. And then it's like an episode from like 3 months ago. And I'm like, that's not the latest What order?
Yeah.
Where are you listening? What order are you listening in? Who are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, the singer guy. And I'm like, who? And then I gotta like, like, we've had so many that I'm like, wait, I need some more context. Which one? And he never remembers anybody's name. Ever.
Yeah.
Just like, that guy, that girl, and she did the thing.
The one who did the thing, who was connected to the thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
you
me.
guys, you're friends.
I do that too.
Okay.
Another big milestone that happened with this podcast is we went from bi-weekly to weekly.
Oh, huge.
That's big. I don't know if people who listen to podcasts understand like how much work it takes to be weekly, especially when you have other jobs. Like we're touring and we decided to go weekly right before a massive tour started. And we're like, you know what? We could do it. We'll just do it on the road. We'll just figure it out. We'll do it from the bus. We'll do it from a venue. And then it was exciting to think about that.
Yeah, because there's podcasts where it's, you know, this is their full-time job. Like you say, hey, what do you do? And they're like, I'm a podcaster.
Yeah.
For us, it's like, oh, well, we do this and their shows. And then you have meetings and other stuff.
Meetings, Zooms, merch stuff, brand stuff.
Yeah,
all the things.
Hotels and venues and airlines and.
Let me tell you, Danielle is a podcast producer, a tour manager, a personal assistant, a travel agent, a emotional support animal. She's all the things. Yeah. She wears every hat.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't even like wearing hats. I have a big head, so.
And fun fact, she doesn't like wearing slippers either.
I don't. I don't wearing slippers.
Just raw dogging feet on the floor.
Which makes one of our upcoming clips quite
ironic. Yeah. Well, let's jump into it. Okay, so on this episode, you guys, we're going to go over some of the top 10 moments. Yeah. I did not pick these top 10 moments. You did. These are some of the most viral moments from the episodes. So we're going to start from number 10 and go all the way to number 1. And let's just jump right into it. Okay, so number 10 is my episode with my friend Lindsay Rush, where we talk about Miss Rachel. I loved this episode. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. I started tearing up, and it was one of those where you almost like hyperventilate. Like we've already moved on to the next topic, but I'm still laughing about the last topic. It was one of those episodes for me. And Lindsay Rush is one of the most hilarious human beings.
So funny.
She is an author. She's in marketing. She just has this clever brain, and we talked a lot about that on the episode, like marketing. We came up with different marketing. Remember we were talking about a slogan for the Mercedes that massages you.
Oh, yes.
A slogan for Zoloft. All kinds of stuff. Anyways, she is so funny. This is one of my favorite episodes for sure, because I had so much fun and I laughed so much, and laughter is contagious. So I can only imagine anybody listening. It's one of those things where you hear people laughing that you start laughing too before you know what's happening. If you see somebody laughing, it's like when you walk into a conversation, mid-conversation, everybody's laughing, you already start laughing and smiling, like, what happened? What? Like, you just want to be a part of it. You're like,
what
wait,
are you talking about?
Yeah. You know what I mean? So to me, it felt like that. It felt a little bit like, I hope it felt like that on the other end to people listening. But this is the clip where we talk about Miss Rachel and our love for Miss Rachel. So please enjoy this viral moment. Do you have any more gratitudes you want to contribute before we wrap it up? Was there anything that you were like, I really wanted to say this?
Well, I'll just list my other two, but we won't talk about them.
Let's do it.
Just because I did my homework.
Okay, thank you.
My other one was going to be Miss Rachel, the kids singer, because...
Let's get into it just a little bit. 2 minutes of it.
My president, Miss Rachel.
Listen, my mom.
Yeah. My emergency contact, Miss Rachel.
I am writing Miss Rachel down as my emergency contact from here on out.
Imagine she just goes, "Hi, friends." Yeah. And you're like, "Yeah, I'm in an ambulance."
Yeah,
Rachel, you're my emergency contact.
Miss Rachel, if you're watching, first of all, big fans over here, huge fans. You're part of our gratitudes today. Do you mind if we list you as our emergency contact?
Is that cool?
Circle yes or no. Okay.
Can you come pick me up from the mall?
Yeah.
She's the only thing Dawson will like watch.
Uh-huh.
Not that I'm trying to be like.
Well, that's the only
screen
thing we
time,
let
screen
her.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Rachel and Miss Isa for Spanish. If you want to teach
Okay.
Doss a little Spanish. How cute will he be? The cutest little white boy walking into the bar, because I love that you guys take him to the bar.
Don't tell Danielle. She went to a Christian school.
He's like, una cerveza, por favor.
Your table for two people. What is it, Danielle?
Oh yeah.
Your favorite?
Hola, una mesa para dos personas, por favor. My favorite phrase.
So I'm feeling the culture just seep in.
Yeah. Miss Isa. Show Dawson Miss
I will.
Isa.
As long as someone's singing, that's all he wants. All he wants is music.
Yes, and she doesn't want to, when it's like learning a lesson part of Miss Rachel, she's like, next, other one. She wants the songs. That's it.
At least does she say like other one or skip or next or anything
Oh,
like
yeah.
that? Okay, because
Oh, yeah.
Dawson still doesn't. And he just goes, and I'm always like,
Oh, yeah.
Next,
Uh-huh.
skip. Miss Rachel, not that we would skip anything. We go back and watch it. Whatever he
We
skipped,
personally, we go back and watch all
we
the
remember.
skip portions.
We're just like, oh, we gotta get it. Those
I'll come
views.
back to it after.
Fine. What letter is in the box? I do need to know. Also, now I'm just going to speak to her. Miss Rachel, you have this song where it was her Christmas special. I don't know if you guys watched
Okay.
it. She pulls like a letter out of the box, out of the mystery box, and then the kids have to learn all about the letter. And it's the letter C, and she sings, C is a letter, K is the sound that it makes. And I try to teach Dawson that song with other letters.
Okay.
And she does too. But anytime you go like, T is a letter, and he just goes, C's the only, we watch that Christmas special so much. So he just
He
thinks
goes,
every
no,
letter-
Mom, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. And I'll be like, is the sound that it makes. And he's just going, he's like, she's stupid. So he needs to read my book and remember I'm smart, but he's like, this dumb bee thinks.
He's like, my mom is the dumbest person.
He's like, she forgets the lyrics to this song
All the time.
I do love
He's like, Miss Rachel, come pick me up.
Yeah, Miss Rachel, my mom does not know the lyrics. I do find though that like she's singing all the old, she's singing like Barney was doing these, Raffi was doing these, and I love that she's making it her own and making all of this money because she
Absolutely
has saved lives.
Oh my God. I love going through the comments on the things that she posts, and then there'll be some really clever ones in there, be like, you know, our co-parent or whatever, and like people just full on like mom and dad, and I love it. It's really, you guys are the best.
Mr. Aaron and Miss Rachel, then I do have to go, but we went and saw, do you know Jules from Miss Rachel's team?
Yeah.
She has, they have the nose ring and the short hair to the guitar. They had an album release party.
I saw that in
the basement
East
in Nashville, and we went.
No, you didn't go.
We went. That was Dawson's first concert. Krabby Crab, pizza party. They sang all the hits.
No, they sang all the hits.
All the hits, and it was just kids everywhere. It was at noon on a Sunday. They opened the bar and had mimosas.
When was this? I hope it was a day we were out of town, so I'm not mad. When was it?
It was like months ago.
Yeah,
But
we were probably out of town.
You were for sure. They're starting to do kid
Definitely.
concerts to use the space during the day. So next time,
Please
I'll tell you, because
Wow.
the kids were just running around going nuts.
Oh my God, I
It's
love
all
it.
their favorite songs.
Oh my God. Marching. Oh my God, yeah. Oh, so cool. I didn't know that they had a release party. I saw them in New York, and they came up on the screen in like Times Square or something like that. I was like, no freaking way.
Yeah, so the whole team is
Well done.
thriving. So Miss
Yeah.
Rachel,
Look at you. It started from the bottom. Now my whole crew here. Look at that.
okay, started from the bottom. Now I'm. If you guys forgot what sound C makes.
Yeah. Hilarious. Oh, and fun fact about this one, Miss Rachel actually commented.
Oh yes.
She commented. Let's see what she commented. She commented. Hold on, let me turn
Miss
it on.
Machel.
Miss
Rosie always
Yes, Rosie calls her Miss Machel.
Miss Machel.
She'll say, watch little bit of Miss Machel. Watch little bit of Miss Machel. Okay. Miss Rachel commented, OMG, so sweet, exclamation point. And then she did a second comment that said, yes, exclamation point, with the like praise hands.
Oh.
And I responded to hers and I said, we would love to have you on the podcast. And then she ghosted us.
Yeah. And that still stands, Miss
Yeah.
Machel.
Miss Machel, we would love to have you on this podcast. Talk about some gratitude, girl. Let's get into it. That is a dream guest. I would love to ask her. I've seen so many interviews with her where she talks about how she got started with her YouTube channel and how they had all these hopes, like maybe one day like one of these big networks will want us and then we'll be a real show. And then turns out, no, we were the real show. We were the big suits. We were us. It was us we were waiting for. Would love to have you on, Miss Rachel. Okay.
Number 9.
Oh, number 9. Number 9 was a controversial one.
Honestly shocked it's number 9. I thought it'd be higher up, but whatever.
Let me tell you, I knew this one was gonna get a lot of engagement. I didn't think it would get this much though. Like so much negative comments. They came for Danielle.
They sure did.
This episode, we were talking about, this was our Attitudes and Gratitudes. This was just me and you episode.
Like a chill, regular episode.
Regular day. Regular episode.
We were just checking in with each other. Pretty sure this was pre-tour.
Yeah.
Like, before we hit the bus.
And you just happened to have an attitude of men wearing flip-flops.
Yeah.
And that's where, what's it called where you put your flag? What is it called?
I'm going to die on this hill. I staked my flag.
Something like that. That's where she was like, right here, men in flip-flops. Get out of here. And she was very passionate about it. And people in the comments were also very passionate.
Here's the thing. Here's where I would like to chime in. Follow up. When did I ever say you couldn't wear flip-flops to the beach or the pool? Obviously, men are allowed to wear flip-flops to the beach or pool. That is it.
Allowed.
That is the only appropriate time you are allowed to wear flip-flops. Okay. I do not like, I did comment, people like, what are you expecting to wear? And I said flippers. And I also still stand by that. You should wear flippers.
But you don't want them wearing flip-flops to Kroger or.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And honestly, I prefer slides. Wear the slide. It's the thing between the toes that stresses me out. That's what it. And I don't I don't own a pair of flip flops.
Really?
No, I don't. I do not own.
What do you wear in the shower on tour? Because we have to wear shower shoes.
I wear those rubber Birkenstocks.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Or I have Adidas slides, or I have knockoffs from Target. Oh, yeah. I just don't like things between my toes.
Interesting.
Like even when I go to the nail salon and I get a pedicure and they do the thing between my toes, I'm stressed the whole time. I'm like, I know it has a purpose, and I'm just like, I am uncomfortable. I am uncomfy. I hate this.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. How about, because you're new to massages too. I was going to ask what about getting like a foot massage? Does that bother you? Like if they go between your toes?
That's what they do? I've never had like a professional foot massage. Like I've just had whatever they do when you get a pedicure.
Well, they don't just trace your toe, but they'll just like, sometimes they'll crack your toe. Like,
no, I don't want that. Don't do that. No.
Really? Oh my God.
Crack
I love
your toe?
Yeah.
I will say I do have what I call my wonky toe, where I broke it and it didn't heal properly.
And it's your toe do like that?
Just like, boop. My toe do like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Not me quoting me.
You're so stupid. My toe do like that, and it's one of my insecurities. Okay. Anyway, but I am worried. Although part of me is like, if you crack it right, do you think it'll correct itself?
Oh no, because they're not. I think you're just releasing the gas that's in there or something like that.
Is that what
I might have made that up? I could have fully made that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Like when you do this, like.
Yeah, I think you're releasing a gas.
Interesting.
Let's Google it really quick.
A guy in high school, a friend that I don't know, I haven't talked to him since high school, but he knew how to like pop your thumbs, and he would just.
I do it all the time. Pop my thumbs.
I don't know how you do that.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm correct. When you crack your knuckles, you are essentially releasing small gas bubbles from the synovial fluid in your joints. Girl, I be having a lot of synovial fluid in all my knuckles. So, all
I
right.
feel like I have it all up in my lower back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I have it in my lower back too. People don't know this fun fact. When I'm on stage, I think I've said this before, so maybe you do know it. I crack my back a lot when I'm on stage. Like if I'm turning this way with my microphone and I'm turning, I'll like adjust my hips and then pop and then keep walking the other way.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, watch me next time. So everybody, check out this clip of Danielle's passionate stance on men in flip-flops, and then go check the comments. Give me a couple of your MADtitudes, and then we'll move into gratitude.
Here's one that I wrote down recently, as in like a few days ago.
Okay.
I cannot stand when people wear open-toed shoes and they have not groomed their toes. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like you're wearing sandals and I look down and I'm like, we don't own a pair of clippers. We've never washed our feet ever. Is what I'm thinking. You know, I used to, like, I was taught growing up, always have your toes painted. As a very Southern lady, like, always have your toes painted. Like,
Okay.
no one should ever see your bare toenail. And that's definitely just like as a woman or whatever. And so, like, for a long time, anytime I saw a girl wearing open-toed shoes and she didn't have her toenails painted, I was like, atrocities. Crimes have been committed. Put those things away. What are you talking about? But now I'm like, okay, I get it. Not everybody likes to have colors on the toes, but the least we could do is a little buff and shine. We could do a little buff and shine, do a little clear coat, trim up those little toe hairs. You know, if you want.
Oh, toe
and
hairs.
then for men, I think they should never be allowed to ever expose their toes. Put those away.
Really?
I cannot stand. When men wear flip-flops, I want to throw up.
Why?
I hate it.
They deserve air between their toes.
No, I don't think so.
Weird.
Are they Jesus? No.
Weird.
Put those away. Like I'm like, that was for the Bible times. Men wearing sandals, the jandals.
Wow, this is a hot take if I ever heard one.
Hot take from me, for sure. But it makes me, and I'm just like, if you're gonna expose your toes, just think about that. Think about what everyone else has to look at.
Here I am thinking about like diabetics who can't wear closed shoes because it's pain. Yes. Okay. And they have to wear open-toed shoes, and then their toes are not great because they don't get good blood circulation down there because they're diabetic. And they got nasty toes, but they can't wear closed toes. They have to wear the open toes. I'm thinking of somebody specifically in my head right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And some people
help that person. Somebody help that person and be like, baby girl, let's trim, buff.
This person I'm thinking of has to go to the doctor to get their nails trimmed because if they accidentally cut themselves, they won't stop bleeding.
Okay, well, I would like for you to imagine during this MADtitude, that person does not apply.
Okay.
It does not exist. I'm talking about everyone else.
You're talking about people who just don't care. You want people to care.
Capable. Yes. And am I also specifically referencing a situation? Yes.
All right.
Maybe. Okay. And I'm looking at you, group of people I saw at Disneyland recently with your toes all exposed. And I just thought, I can see those. Everyone can see those. You saw those toes and then said, let's put these babies out here, because I would have wrapped them up and hidden them up real quick. I was like, and I would like you to stop being nice and take my side.
I would like you to not bring up science and blood
get
circulation
out here with your facts and your critically acclaimed research.
Hilarious. All right.
Okay,
moving on. Number 8. Ooh, this was a good one. This is Dr. Molly Brinkman.
Love her.
And talking about botfly removals and pimple popping videos. I love watching botfly removals, pimple popping videos. It's very relaxing. It's soothing to me. Oh my gosh, I found, who sent it to me? Was it you? Somebody sent, no, it was Mal.
I would never send
Mal
you
sent me, videos. Was it Mal? Somebody sent me a video of this toy. It's like a anxiety toy, a relaxing thing, and it's like a nose that you pop out pimples. It's not real pus, but it's like something that pops out and then you pop it back in. But it's things that you can like as if you're popping pimples.
Uh-huh.
And it's like a relaxing toy.
I don't like that.
I should get it. I think I'm going to get it.
Do not bring it on the road.
Absolutely. I'm going to bring it on the road for sure.
Do it away from me.
Maybe it'll help you to be okay with it if you practice it.
First of all,
do you pop your own pimples?
Yes. But why do I need to be okay with it? I don't mind popping my own.
You've never popped anyone else's pimple?
No.
No?
No.
Oh. I call dibs on people's pimples.
I do have friends who do that. I will say there was one time I had a spot on my back and my friend was like, let me get it. And I was like, okay.
Well, because it's in your back. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I call dibs. I remember there was one time specifically, and this is hilarious. Penelope, my bestie, had a big old pimple. And I saw it and I was like, ooh, girl, let me get that. And she's like, you can't. Steel already called it. That was her husband at the time.
You had other people calling dibs. That's so gross.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We're just, my whole family, we're all weird like that.
Yeah.
Like if my brother has pimples on his back, he'll be like, get my back real quick.
Ew. No. Your brother?
Yeah.
No, I would never touch my brother. Ew. Disgusting. Gross.
Really?
No. And then my sister, she'll come in with all of her skincare facts and she'll be like, you shouldn't be doing that. You need to do this instead. She goes to the dermatologist like every other week.
She's the me of the last video.
Yeah. Correct. Yes. She is so, I kid you not, she goes to the dermatologist, I think like once a month and is very, she just, I don't know. It's her, they love each other. They
love each other.
We're a freckly bunch. Okay.
Cute.
It is also,
you got to get them checked.
Yeah. She's got a lot, hers are a lot bigger than mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have,
if you're freckly, you got to get them freckles checked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this is Dr. Molly and the botfly removal clip that I think my favorite part about this clip is you, Danielle, because the whole time while I'm fully engaged in Dr. Molly and what she's saying, not even looking at the screen at Danielle's reaction, but I'm so glad that Joseph put your reaction in there because it's my favorite part. Let's see. I love pimple popping videos. I love teeth cleaning videos. I'm getting.
You gotta come to work with me.
I'm getting vulnerable, you guys. Vulnerable. What else do I like? Pedicure videos. Like if there's an ingrown toenail, yeah.
Stop.
If there's an ingrown toenail, yeah, I'll watch that video. Botfly removal videos.
Yeah, we do that.
What is that?
Is there a lot of botfly removals?
No, well,
here?
they're called Cuterebra. It's a type of fly egg removal. Yeah, and they burrow in the skin.
Yeah,
and they make look at Daniel. They make a little hole.
Ew.
And they start tiny and they burrow under the skin in dogs and cats, but they grow.
Yeah.
And so then they're like this boil and there's a tiny little like spout hole and you can see them like squirming around in there. Mm-hmm.
Where do they come from? Like
a fly lays the egg.
Just a regular old house fly.
Yeah, it's a specific kind. I should know
but
what
they
it's
have
called.
this fly here in Nashville?
Yeah. Cuterebra is the little larva that's in there.
Sick.
There's so many bugs out there, my goodness.
Mm-hmm. So then you have to pull it out slowly and it's like this fat little grubby worm. It's awesome.
Do you have a lot of that?
I don't see a lot of that here.
Oh, okay.
More like rural areas where dogs and cats are outside all the time.
Yeah.
They'll see it more, but I'll see it occasionally.
Just out there roaming the country.
Yes, wild and out.
Nope.
And Dixon
Bonzo's
County.
an indoor dog.
Yeah. He's fully.
Of course he is.
I love to let him off leash because he's just so fun, but no. Coyotes, it's too much. Fun fact that happened this morning. Not fun, but a fact that happened this morning. Bobcat with a squirrel in its mouth, walking along the side of my house, cuts in front of my garage, and then goes through my neighbor's house into the brush over there. Right in front of my garage.
Cameras?
No, my stepdad was out there and he was just like looking at the water, and because there's a little creek by our house, and so my stepdad's out there looking at the water, and he said he looks to his left, he sees this bobcat walking towards him, and then the bobcat sees him, cuts a right, and goes to the neighbor's house. And so I check my cameras, and of course the camera stops right before the bobcat, and then picks up right when my stepdad's coming back in the house to come tell us. So I didn't get to see it, but scary. See, that's why he don't be off leash.
Yeah, and bobcats are way scarier than coyotes. They're
not true.
I think bobcats attack coyotes. Like,
I wish, but no. According to Google earlier, bobcats like smaller prey, like squirrels, birds, bunnies, like smaller rodents like that. Apparently says Google.
Oh, you know what? I think I'm thinking of a mountain lion.
I think you are thinking of a mountain lion.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah.
All scary.
Bobcats are a little bit cute, to be honest.
Yes.
But I still don't want one of those.
Yeah, I've seen a few coyotes in my neighborhood recently.
Oh, I hate it.
And they're just like out and about.
You are kind of by the mountains, though. That makes sense.
I am. Totally. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Mal Hall. Oh, Mal Hall's got 2 on this list.
Ooh.
Okay.
So do I.
So this one is us telling our stalker story. I've told this story on other people's podcasts, but this was, I think, the first time telling it on my own podcast. And it went pretty viral, got a lot of engagement. I didn't realize people were super interested in this story, but it is a pretty wild story.
Yeah. Well, because I also think too, like, I feel like just with people in the public eye, that is something I get asked all the time, is if you have any stalkers. And if like, especially whenever at every show that we're at, security is always asking, are there any stalkers or any other? And I'm always like, none that I'm aware of currently.
Right.
Speaking.
Thank God. Because I
seriously.
know some comedians
who do have some
who have stalkers, and not just like diehard fans are like, okay, they're stalker, but like stalkers, mentally ill, mentally unstable, have already gone to jail for stalking, then getting back out and then stalking again type stalkers.
Well, I recently got an alert, not a comedian, but Hillary Duff, who doesn't know her. Like a stalker was like arrested like in her front yard or something crazy like that. Yeah.
So thank God I don't have any of those kind of stalkers. But this is the story of the only stalker incident that I've had.
Yeah.
This is
number 7.
Number 7. So we're in Texas at a comedy club. And after the show, we get in our rental car and Mal's driving and we're on our way to go get some food. As we exit, Mal's like, I don't want to alarm anybody, but there's a car, a few cars back that's been following us.
Yeah. I'm very aware when I drive. I'm in the mirrors. I see, not that I think people are tracking me at all the time, but like I'm always like looking at the cars in the mirror. And especially when I'm with you, it's like, I know that there's people trying to find out where we're staying and stuff. So it's like, I'm always checking when I'm driving.
Good for you. I don't. I'm just like, doo-doo.
It's like, I don't know. It's my protective dad quality, maybe. I'm always just sort of aware when we're out. And
so you saw him just like switching lanes when we switched?
Yeah. So I noticed this car, and it's nighttime, and I believe it was like kind of rainy.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing this
At least
car,
in this story it is.
Yeah. I'm noticing this car. It's like 2 cars back, and I switch lanes, and I notice that car switches lanes. And then I switch lanes again, and I notice the car switch again. And I was like, no, there's no way. And I was like, I'm going to go all the way to the right and then all the way back to the left. And I did that. And they followed again. And I was like, okay, they're for sure following. I'm gonna have to let her know. And so as we're getting off, that's when I told you, don't panic. But for sure, there's someone following us right now. And then you can take it from there.
Yeah. So then we pull into Taco Cabana. We were hungry. So we pull into the drive-thru. This truck pulls around and parks. The guy gets out of his truck and starts walking towards our car in the drive-thru. And then Mal, I think at this point you're like, do I just gun it? Do I
Yeah.
leave?
Yeah,
What do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And Anjelah was like, no, I got a quesadilla, so I need.
She's
Wait
like,
till we get the food.
but I already
order's-
paid.
My order's not ready.
He gets out, and I don't know what happens, but he gets spooked and walks back to his truck.
Yeah.
So he was like
Okay.
walking towards us, and then he walks back to his truck.
Interesting.
And we're like, what the heck? So then we get our food, and then we take off, and we're like, we're not going to go back to the hotel because then he's going to
Yeah.
follow us and know where we're staying. So we go back to the club. So then Jackie's calling the club like, hey, we're coming back. Pull the gate up because you park. They open a gate so you can go in.
Yeah.
So pull the gate. We're coming back. And at this point, he's full on following us.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm speeding now, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing evasive maneuvers that I've learned from TV, okay? And none of it's working because this guy has watched the same movies as me.
He's like, I know your tricks.
Yeah.
He's like, I've seen Fast and Furious.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so we get back to the place.
We
and
get
the
back
guy-
in. They open the gate. We go in. We wait a little bit. Then they get us a police escort to our hotel. So now we have a police escort to our hotel.
Yeah.
Woo, whatever. Then I get on Instagram. And I'm like, hey, anybody here work for the police department and you can run a plate for me?
Oh. I like to imagine you're on there and you're like, who is it? Who's stalking me?
Yeah.
DM me.
Yeah. Was that you? Sir, circle yes or no. Okay. So somebody replies and she is like, I'm married to somebody who could run a plate for you.
Oh.
And they shall remain nameless, also because I don't remember their name.
That's why.
But anyways, so she's like, all I can give you is a name. I can't give you anything else, like an address. I didn't want an address.
Yeah.
So she gives me a name. We look up on Facebook something about this car. It was decked out Dallas Cowboys. Everything decked out.
That's
right?
upsetting.
That's upsetting.
That's a
That
bummer.
tracks, though, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it track? Like,
Ha-ha.
Danielle's a Dallas Cowboys
Ha, ha,
person,
ha,
so.
Hardy har har.
Pretty hard. So we look up this person.
It's not that funny.
Hardy har har. Har.
Dom, finish your story.
On Facebook, we find this person with that same name who has Dallas Cowboys everything.
Oh,
no
no.
pictures of himself, just
But-
Dallas Cowboys everything.
Sure.
And so we're like, oh, this is probably the person.
Yeah.
So this is the beginning of the week. Now we're at the very last show of the weekend. It's probably like 8 shows sold out. So
He just wanted a ticket. That's why he was like, hey, can I get a ticket? It's sold out.
So now it's the last show, last meet and greet, last person in line.
No.
It's me and Eddie at this point. Eddie's with me.
Yeah.
And Eddie's Jackie's husband. The guy walks up, decked out Dallas Cowboys everything.
No.
And Eddie's spidey sense starts going off, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he tell you, like,
Yeah.
He's
He's like,
ding,
huh,
ding, ding,
hold
ding,
on.
ding.
Then he goes to introduce himself, and he says the name of the name we saw on Facebook.
crazy?
Joe Schmo. Hey, I'm Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
And immediately we're like, buzzers
Yeah.
going off. Just like, oh no.
No, yeah.
So I'm here with my meet and greet. There's Eddie, and then like maybe like 100 feet away is a police officer. And I'm like, how do we get his
Yeah.
attention
Yeah.
without being like, hooray? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh my gosh. Then he pulls out his binder full of photos of me to sign that he printed off the internet.
Definitely not serial killer vibes
The
at
first
all.
one, the first picture was Anjelah receiving the quesadilla from Taco Cabana. This is my favorite.
No, they were all internet pictures. And so I think why I wasn't like creeped out is because that's happened before. Like at venues,
yeah,
people
yeah.
will print photos
Sure.
from the internet. They'll wait outside and they have a bunch of photos of you to sign.
Yeah.
And then I had been taught early on by other comedians or celebrities that I know. They're like, okay, just so you know, usually they're getting your autograph on a photo because they want to sell that photo. So just know when you're signing those photos, it's not like, oh, this one's for my cousin. That's what I say. This is for my cousin. This is for my daughter. This is for my niece. No, it's not for that. It's because eventually, like, if something happens to where you pop off and your autograph is worth like no money, they're gonna sell your photos. Is what it is. So I've been advised, like, don't sign all the photos. Just give them a few and then go about your day. Anyways, he pulls out this binder, tons of photos of me printed from the internet. And I was being nice, and I signed the photo. I even took a photo with him.
Yeah.
And lived to tell about it.
Yeah.
And he just went about his day. And we were like, that was for sure him.
Yeah.
The guy who followed us. But the reason why I say in hindsight, looking back, he was probably just like an overzealous fan that was super excited and like followed us, and then realized he was being a creep walking up to our car, and then was like, no, let me just leave.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There he was on the first day and the last day. But I don't know. It was a creepy situation. If you're watching right now, sir, please don't do that again. It was very
creepy. To anyone.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
That whole stalker incident, and afterwards the investigation to find out who that person was, and then they showed up at the show with pictures of me to sign, and I've signed pictures of myself before many of times, and it's fine. Like, I get it. That's what people do, is they'll print out pictures of you and they'll have you sign them. A lot of times it's because they want to sell them. But I actually had an incident recently when we were on tour in DC, and I was on the bus, and I saw a guy cross the street towards the bus, and I'm watching him the whole time, and then he goes and he stands maybe like 10 feet away from the bus, and he's just kind of waiting there, and I'm like, that feels suspicious. It feels like he's waiting for me to get off the bus. And I was about to get off the bus to go into the venue. Luckily, Manny was on the bus with me, and so I get off the bus, and I'm clocking him the whole time, and then he's looking at me like he wants to come over. So I immediately was like, babe, can you come out here real quick? There's a guy standing here. And then 2 other guys walk up, and I'm like, oh my God. And they just wanted pictures, though. They had their cameras out, and they wanted pictures. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take a picture. But it's in those situations that you just never know who's going to be just an innocent picture. I just want a picture. Thank you so much. And then who's got, ill motives. Could be creepy sometimes.
Yeah.
Moving on. Okay. Coming in at number 6, Holly Hum and my sound effects. This was a fun episode.
She's so cool.
She's great. Her friends are great. Like, she was so fun, so interesting to talk to. I just remember I really enjoyed that conversation with her, and I felt like I would want to be friends with you. Like, if we lived in the same city, I would definitely want to be friends with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm tough enough to be one of your friends, because then when they all came later to the show, I was like, oh wait, all of you will beat me up.
Yeah. And I just liked that they were all like my height. I was like, yes.
Oh yeah.
All ladies.
Yes. Yeah, you'd probably do better in their friend group than I would, for sure. But
I definitely feel like if there was a moment of like, I don't know, I just imagine we end up in some dark alley and we're being attacked, and I would just push them forward and be like, get them.
Yeah, go girls.
Go girls. You got it. I'll call 911. I'll call.
Yeah.
I got it. And this was our first on the road episode.
Oh, it was.
And it was such a cool, I feel like it ended up, like, there's been some on the road episodes where we ended up in smaller spaces, and this one we get to be on the stage, which was perfect.
Yeah.
For
this was a good one. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
This was a good one. Our first on the road episode. That really set us up to be like, oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be easy, whatever. And then we get to other places, we're like, shoot, what do we do? Where do we go?
And I was like, oh, there are no outlets. Turns out we need so many outlets. And then I feel like I was constantly going, we need an extension cord. Why don't we buy extension cords? And then I would forget. And every time we do on the road, I'd be like, surely the stagehands have one. Oh, they're not here. Just look through their cords. They won't mind.
Yeah. So here is
it's fine. It's fine.
This is number 6 with Holly Hum. So anytime you're like in that situation and you're like, all right, if somebody comes at me, this is gonna be my move. Okay. In my brain, for some reason, I always think I can drop kick somebody.
Okay.
I don't know how to drop kick nobody, but in my brain, I'm like, come at me, because
visualization you had on that.
It's full on, like, it's like a kick and a. It's like not even, and it's not even. Oh, you know what? And it's actually kind of like one of these, and it's like a ka, like that. Like, I have such control over this part of my leg.
I mean, you're got
like,
good balance and control right now.
Ka,
so. Okay.
And it's full on, like, and I have like the right angle, and I like in my brain, I have so much control over my body.
Like, does it help you to say, yeah?
Oh, if this happens, I'm fully saying ka.
Okay.
I'm fully. If I'm ever defending myself somewhere, there will be sound effects. There will be ka. There will be.
Hiya.
I don't know about hiya because it's
that takes
like,
too much time.
It takes too much time. It's more like a
one syllable sounds
ka,
over here.
Pow.
You've done the like the
if I ever to stab somebody, they're for sure getting sound effects along with their stabbing. It's gonna be,
but it's still a single syllable per.
It's gonna
stab.
be ka ka ka.
Yeah, 3 stabs.
3 stab. Oh, you don't just one stab.
Right.
Who one stabs? Get out of here, one stab.
That's what I did with the taser. It was
ka.
it was a bzz, 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 bzz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of here, one stab. I really do visualize myself being able to drop kick somebody and fight somebody, like if I ever have to defend myself. Like, do you ever imagine a fight when you're out and about and like maybe you see somebody creepy and then you're like, if I have to fight that person, this is what I would do. Boo, boo, boo. And in your brain,
All the time.
you're Jackie Chan.
All the time. Especially if I'm watching like a crime show and it's like I'm fully horizontal on the couch and they're like jumping over the fence and I'm like, I could do that. Like, hand in a chip bag, whatever. But then like I have such a vivid imagination, wild imagine, and like I'll like, if I see like, I remember I was in an Uber recently and the guy was giving me creepy vibes and I was already making an attack plan. I was like, all right, here's what I do. I was like, I'm gonna grab the door, but I'm gonna throw. There was like a water bottle. I was like, I'm gonna throw this at him, distract him, and like,
distract.
Yeah, that's what they always say too. Like if some guy tries to like steal your bag or your purse or something, they say throw it, because then you run in the opposite direction. Yeah,
I forgot about that tip.
Yeah, so I think about that too. I'm like, what can I throw? What can I?
Oh, that's a good one.
When I worked in Hollywood, I used to have a taser, and there was one time because they say like the noise is scarier than, and there was one time this guy got too close, and I just went bzz, bzz, and then he walked away.
You said bzz, bzz?
Like I didn't get him, but like I had the taser in my hand.
Oh, I thought you just made a sound effect, bzz, bzz, and I was like,
no,
you just said bzz, bzz, and that scared him away.
It might.
I
You never know.
I gotta try bzz, bzz. I've never bzz, bzzed anybody. I'm over here doing ka, ki, ka, and you got bzz, bzz.
Bzz, bzz.
That's a good one. All right, moving on. Coming in at number 5. Oh, this is another Mahalo one. This was a good one. This one did get a lot of engagement.
Yeah.
A lot of opinions on this one.
This was his first episode. This was one of our early episodes.
Yeah, this is one of our early episodes, and it was a fun one. We had some good outtake moments from this. Remember we did that little reel of you. Listen, she was just learning, you guys.
Still figuring things out.
She was still figuring things out. We've had
I didn't know you could hear every single thing.
A good blooper of Danielle opening a can of soda, fixing her microphone.
It was the headphones.
Fixing her headphones. Something. She had so many noisy things to contribute to that episode, and it was so fun. Coming in at number 5 is our episode with Mahalo and his MADtitude about strangers requesting money. Mal, what is your MADtitude?
The one thing that super annoys me right now, and I don't know if you guys are gonna vibe with this, is do you guys remember shame? Do you remember like when people would be shamed, like, oh my god,
remember?
I'm ashamed
It's part of daily life. What do you mean remember?
I don't think people have shame anymore. Like, have you seen, like, I don't know if this happens all across the country, but in Southern California, people do GoFundMes on the back of their car, and I hate it.
What do you mean? GoFundMes for what?
I call them GoFundMes, but it's like, it's
Venmo
it's my birthday. Here's my Venmo. Buy me a drink.
No.
And their Venmo handle, and I was like, I've seen enough of these. The one that set me off, and the one that made me write this note in my notes to like write a joke about this, is this girl on the back of her car said, "Just married, buy me a drink." And I was like, do you understand? Like, you're keeping one foot in and one foot out? Like, tell your husband to buy you a drink.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, back in the day, like, to ask people for money was like, people would do anything to not have to ask for money. Like, that, it was a shameful thing to do. And now it's just like, on the back of their car. Put your Venmo in your car. Maybe, could you imagine?
I haven't seen that on a car. I've seen it in like bios, like Instagram bios
That too.
and stuff. And
That too.
yeah, that's always very interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's like, here's my Venmo if you want to just
Send
me some money.
Yeah.
What?
Could you imagine sending somebody money from the freeway? Like you're just like, what was that Venmo handle? Like you got to follow them to give them money?
No.
Like, could you imagine? Then that's also sad. Like that whole
Yeah.
thing just makes me so mad
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you would do that. This
That's
is
interesting. There's part of me, like there's sometimes where I'm feeling saucy, sassy, fun. Like I'm talking to everybody I see. I'm at the coffee shop and I'm talking to these people and I'm just like, pass somebody on the road, be like, oh, I like that shirt. Like sometimes I'm in that mood to just be like, hey girl, what's up? And I feel like if I was in one of those moods and I saw a Venmo, it's my birthday, blah, blah, I might even be like, okay, it's your birthday.
not.
Go have a margarita, girl. Here you go, But for the most part, I feel like if I were to just see a random, like, it's my birthday, buy me a drink, drive by,
Yeah.
I probably would be a little like, what?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I just thought of this. The next time I see that, I'm going to write down the Venmo and then I'm going to request money from them instead.
Hey, it's my
should.
birthday too.
Yeah.
Can you share?
You absolutely should.
It's also my birthday. Can you send me
my
a
God.
drink?
B-Day twins.
Yeah.
I feel like that goes along the lines too with like the excessive tipping of like it's the same.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same vibes.
That's also a MADtitude.
Yeah.
When they're like, when you're buying something and they're like, okay, there's going to be a question, and they turn the iPad as they turn away. Do you
It's like a little
notice
dance
this?
move. It's like a
They turn away. It's
little
like-
pot of beret.
even though when they turn back around, they're going to see that I hit no hard. No, dude. Do you tip on coffee if it's just this? Like, I get a black
No.
coffee,
No.
and they're like, okay, so you can answer that question. And it's like 18, 20, 30%.
That's
and
the
it's
other
like,
thing too is like, and they trick you where they put the most expensive one on the left because they know we read left or right.
Mm-hmm.
So you automatically want to click the first one, but then it's like 30%, and I'm like, whoa. Wait a
Excuse me,
minute.
how do I back out of the tip? I accidentally gave you I accidentally gave you 60 cents. I thought it was going to be 30.
So on this particular post, we did a little poll, and it was. Let me.
Yeah.
The poll was: have you seen people do this? Thoughts on requesting money from strangers? Is it cringe? Who cares? Or I've done it. And 91% said cringe. 7% said who cares, and 2% said I've done it. Thank you for your honest response.
I think I voted cringe.
of course.
Yeah. And being in Nashville, I saw it a lot recently when I was there with you because it's Bachelorette City Central,
they were doing
and
that?
so there were so many cars that were like, "I'm here on my Bachelorette, buy me a drink" or whatever. And I
Oh,
want to be like, you
my
and
gosh.
1,200 other women are also here on there.
I want to know some stats. I want to know how many dollars come in from this fundraiser.
Yeah.
Like, does it actually work? And are people sending like $5? I wonder if it's like other cool chicks that are like, congrats, girl. And like, here's $10 or something. Go get a drink, have fun. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will say too, I guess I like living in LA, everything is just so expensive. And I feel like people think Nashville's expensive, but when I was down there with my sister recently, it was like $6 for a beer, which is as it should be.
Yeah.
But is not the case out here. So out there, I was like, I'm rich. I was like, drinks on me. Like, I was like, let's rage. And yeah. So part of me, when I see that in those towns, I'm like, you're fine. Everything here is cheap.
Yeah.
Chill out. Buy yourself. You're
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Friends. I'm also like, why aren't your friends doing that? Like, why? Like,
Because they bought a flight and pitched in
That's
for an Airbnb to be here. That's why.
that's true. I haven't been to a wedding in like 6 years, so I don't know what the standard is anymore. None of my friends are getting married, so.
All right. Coming in at number 4, Danielle gets a second one. She is popular.
But this one I feel like was both of us. We were
Yeah.
both kind of.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more serious.
This was both of us. All right.
Yeah.
So this is our Mother's Day episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about when we kind of get angry with family members. We treat our family members a different way than we would treat strangers. Like we're almost nicer to strangers than our family members. Whether it's we think they can handle it or I don't know. I don't know what the science is behind it. But
maybe it's just because they've seen everything. Like my sister is my favorite person on this planet.
For sure.
And I think argue with her the most. I think we were just together in Nashville and Chattanooga for my cousin's graduation. And I remember I hadn't filled out my cousin's card yet. And so when we got to dinner, I guess we were already late. There was people already there. And I was like, oh, hold on, I need to write out this card. And she was like, you didn't write it? And I was like, it was a moving vehicle. I didn't want my hand to be all janky. I was like, let me write this. And she was like, we are late. We need to go inside. And I was like, well, you can go inside right now. I was like, I need to write this card. And she was like, fine. And so I start writing it. And she was like, are you writing a novel? Why are you writing? Like she was getting mad at me because I was taking so long. And my dad's just like standing there. And I was like, go inside. And he was like, girls. And I was like, shut up, Dad. Like I was just like,
no, you didn't. You said shut up, Dad.
Like I was like, this argument is between me and Michaela. And like we were, I mean, fully just
if I
yelling
ever
at
said
when I
shut up,
slammed the
Dad.
door closed and was like, I was like, don't even talk to me. And by the way, she was like, don't forget to sign my name.
Oh.
Like I was like, okay, ma'am. And then we get in there and like we immediately sit down and she's like, do you want to share this plate? And I'm like, yeah.
Hilarious. You guys are sisters like as if you just finished sharing a room like last year. Did you guys ever share a room growing up?
No.
Oh, we did.
Shared with her twin.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, I guess, yeah, because you're older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then,
all right, that makes
yeah,
sense.
they shared a room until they were like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Duh.
7, and then we moved, and then we had enough rooms for everybody.
I forgot. All right. Coming in at number 4, this is mine and Danielle's episode, our Mother's Day episode, talking about snapping at loved ones.
So
Here's the thing. I feel like I can be more patient with strangers than my husband. Like,
yeah.
for instance, if my husband said something like accusatory towards me, I'm real quick to like snap back and be like, blah, 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 whatever. But if some rando in the elevator said something accusatory, I'd take pause and be like,
yes,
I'm sorry?
yes.
You want to try that again?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I feel like I'm the same way. I feel like I'm quick with my family, and then with other people, I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on in their day. I don't. And I'm like, and I feel like that's my mom. Like I was frustrated with stuff with this hotel, and I was frustrated with, obviously with all these different things, but I'm always just like, let me give them a minute. Let me give them time. Maybe they're sorting something out. Maybe they're figuring there's something going on I don't know about. So let me just, but I feel like with family, I'm like, I called you four times.
Yeah.
Why aren't you? Hello? You said you would be here, or something. But
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'll blame my mom for kindness to strangers, but then she'll be like, and where's my kindness? And I'm like, well, you're my mom, so
Yeah. That's funny how that
deal with it.
Well, we're related, so you don't get kindness.
Yeah. And they're like, and this is how you treat others? And I go, no, actually. She's like, oh, well, I must be blessed. Thank you.
Well, that one got a lot of engagement. A lot of people had things to say about that one.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that agreed that they do the same thing. They're not like proud of it, but they're like, yeah, I do it too.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be proud of it.
Like,
but
I don't want to, but there is that sort of comfort in the fact that we're mad at each other right now, but I know later we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Haven't had the life-altering argument yet, and hopefully that never happens.
Sure. Please. I hope not. All right. Coming in at number 3. This was our episode with Christina P, who I love. She is incredible. She's hilarious. She's an amazing woman. she was recently diagnosed with cancer and talked about it on her podcast. I remember seeing that post, and I talked about it on the episode that I was like, I thought you were mad at me because you stopped replying to me. And I was like, let me not take things personally because she's going through whatever she's going through. I don't know what that feels like. Maybe she cut everybody off and is just like, I need to not be anything. So I brought that up as well. I was like, I was letting you go through your thing, but I did get kind of sad. I was like, oh my gosh, she stopped replying to me. She's not, I want to like send her love and encouragement and all of that. And we talked about that on the episode too, about how she didn't want to be like the poster child for cancer. Like she didn't want to be like, want people's pity or anything like that. But in this clip that went viral, this is in the moment where I asked her how she told Tom, her husband, that she had cancer. Coming in at number 3, this is Christina P and her cancer diagnosis.
So you do a biopsy. Usually you get called in. They see something in the mammogram. You do a biopsy. And they're like, I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. Whereas like for years, like I said before we started recording, I would joke with my husband like, I'm probably dying of cancer. I don't care. I'm dying of cancer anyway. Like I kind of weirdly, subconsciously knew. So Friday, I always joke that my life changed on June 6, 2024, 3:44 p.m. is when my doctor called me. And like your life up until 3:44 p.m. June 6 is normal. And then you get that phone call and you're like, wait, what? Because you get in, like everything just gets really, like it's like a fugue state. It just goes like in the movie where you're like,
Were you by yourself? Who were you with?
No, thankfully my husband was there when I got the call. But then, of course, he had to leave to go on tour literally 10 minutes after I'd gotten that phone call.
How did you tell him? I mean, you don't have to, I'm asking too many personal details, but like how did you say, were you on the phone and like while you were still on the phone telling him, or did you hang up and be like, wait, hold on?
No, he was sitting right like as close to me as you are right now. And then my dog called me and I was like, wait, what, dude? And I just looked at Tom and I was like, I just told him. I was like, I think I have cancer, dude. And I didn't say dude, but I was like, cancer. And I put the doctor on speakerphone because when you hear those words, you're just like, you don't, your brain stops.
Ugh.
And I couldn't, and after that, I was like dissociated and we go to these appointments and you just have your, like I would make my husband just listen for me because I couldn't.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, you just have someone do the work for you that way. And
first of all, I would not bring my husband to that. I would definitely bring Danielle for that appointment. She would be taking way better notes than my husband would. My husband he can come, he could be there, but Danielle will be the one taking notes.
I would. And I'd probably have follow-up questions.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, because women are way better with this. With these things. My husband was just, traumatized. And
Asking you after, what did they say? And you're like, you were there. You were supposed to be listening.
Yeah, thankfully my sister-in-law is a nurse, and so she came with me to a lot of the appointments and really took care of me. Thank God. What I was going to say, apropos our dog discussion, is that I got a cat during this, and I was always a dog lady. You and I know we've been forever dogs. Yep. This cat, this is the crazy thing. This cat would go right on my chest where the cancer was, right after surgery, after I'd healed.
Oh my God.
And chill out there. This is his spot.
I love him.
Where the tumor was. Isn't that
He's healing you.
He's healing me.
Yeah.
Even when I have like menstrual cramps, he just, dude, he knows. And he lays down right there. And you're like, how do they know?
I stand by that. I hope to God I never have to go to an appointment like that.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful for Christina being so vulnerable and honest and sharing details of her story, her recovery, her thoughts as she went through it. It's unfortunate, and I hate how common cancer is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows someone with cancer.
100%.
Everyone knows multiple people with cancer. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that she is recovering from it and she's doing great. So I love that for her. And that was our number 3 episode or moment.
And I've even seen she's getting back out on stage and stuff, which I think is so
good for
great.
her.
Is, I'm sure, I don't know if she is, but I can imagine making jokes and talking about it is probably another way to process it all as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. This number 2 moment from the Funjelah podcast. I didn't expect this clip to go as viral as it did, but I'm grateful that it did. It touched a lot of people. I remember my stories were blowing up that day of people reposting and tagging it. And it just touched so many women. They resonated so hard with what I was saying. And to me, I felt like, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that does this. And then at the same time, I felt sad for all of us that we do this.
Yeah.
This clip coming in at number 2 is my episode with my good friend Diana Marie Riva. And we were talking about being kind to ourselves.
When I start to go to critique my body, I have to follow it up in my head with something. And I'm not great with this, but I keep telling myself, if I say, I just don't like my weight and where it's at, I am so grateful of how strong I am because I am truly one strong bitch. This I know.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I am. Let's talk about that for a minute. Like not just accepting our bodies, but saying mean things to ourselves.
Yeah.
I think you just struck a chord with me right now.
Okay.
Because last night, full transparency, I was being very mean to myself. Like, I'm getting a little emotional right now thinking about it. So hearing you say this right now really is like a good reminder to me, as we're aging and getting older. And even, sure, I may not be as old as this person in this range. And like, oh, girl, you're young still. Sure. But I'm transitioning from here to here. And this transition is difficult.
Yeah.
And I took a video of myself that was just for me. It was giving my daughter a bath. It was just me and her. Manny was out at the movies. We didn't have childcare or anything. It's just me and Rosie. And I was giving her a bath, and I set up my phone so I can remember this moment, giving my daughter a bath. And I put her to bed, and then I went to go watch the video, and I was just being so mean to myself. Just like what I look like and my face and just all the things that I'm like, oh my God, I need lashes. Oh my God, my chin. Oh my God, why is my nose so that? All these things, just flooding myself with these negative, awful things to say. And I'm like, stop. Be kind to yourself. Be gracious. And it was really hard to get out of that. And so just hearing you say that right now, I feel like I'm convicted, and also like, yeah, be kind.
Absolutely.
Be gentle with yourself.
Absolutely. You are, I think once we become, listen, there's so many factors that just attack us.
Yeah.
And feelings are not facts. So
hey, say that again.
What you feel does not mean that it is a fact. So take it with a grain of salt. And you are not expected to be perfect and not criticize. Like, I'll see parts of my body, but we do need to remember that self-love, because I promise you, in 5 years from now, you'll look back at that video and you won't see anything that you felt you saw.
Yeah,
because you're gonna say, "Look at me now. I've got this, that, and the other." So your future Anjelah has to look at today's Anjelah and say, "Darling, I love you. And you are beautiful all the time, no matter what."
Yeah.
Because we'll continue to find new issues with ourselves. And the worst thing, here's the thing, like, even I'm the mother of a son and daughter, and I would tell them both, but in particular our daughters, you would never want her to talk about herself that way.
No.
And your daughter would never want to hear her mommy talk to herself that way. You're going to find Rosie, she's going to grow up and she's going to be very protective of you. And she's going to be a caretaker, and she's going to want to make sure mommy's okay. My daughter's very much like that. and she wasn't a very expressive child, like, you know, with being demonstrative or whatever, but it was always in her heart and soul. And my daughter looks out for me, and she makes sure that I'm being kind to myself. And Rosie's going to do that with you. But they learn it from us, you know, because of how much we take care of them.
Yeah.
And we will have our days, but those feelings are not facts. It's passing and it's fleeting.
Yeah.
And it's not a fact. And it is imperative if we are in the presence of someone who's learning from us, that they see how much we love each other.
Yeah.
So my daughter doesn't look much like me. She doesn't have my texture hair. I definitely didn't look as cute as she did when she was this age. But I do take care of myself, and she sees me taking care of myself. But the minute I do say something that's a little slightly self-deprecating, she's the first one to come and run defense on my own thoughts. And I don't want her to have to take care of me in that way. I want to do that myself because I want her to be able to do it for herself too.
Yeah. Yeah.
She may not have a daughter that does that. And we don't want to rely on anybody else telling us we look good, even though my partner tells me all the time.
Yeah.
And it is just all of that comes into this time of life as a mother, as a woman, as a partner, that we'll doubt and question ourselves. And it is imperative that you believe that you are beautiful even when those tears are there, and it's okay to have them. Just don't believe that feeling is fact.
Yeah.
It's just, it's too high of a price to pay.
It's a bumper sticker right there. I still do it sometimes, you know.
Sure.
I feel like, and I had heard that before, what she was saying, like in 10 years from now, I'll look back at photos of me and everything that I complained about then. I'm going to be like, I wish
100%.
I had that body. I wish I had my hair like that, whatever. So that one, that resonated with a lot of people. That was a good one.
Yeah. When we were in Boston, that was my first time there in like 10 years. And I was recreating a photo that I knew I had taken in front of the statue. And I pulled up that photo and I looked at that and I was like, gosh, I remember thinking I was so fat in that photo. And I was like, and I'm like 20 pounds heavier now than I was, like, and like how, like, thinking back, like how critical I was of myself then.
Yeah.
And I just was like, that sucks. That sucks. I did that.
And we wasted so much time.
Like,
and
like
energy.
I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to like be so critical of myself and
be insecure.
Yeah, there was no need for that. There's this on the video, there's this comment, and I've heard this quote before, but somebody commented this quote, and it says, your face is the product of hundreds of years of people who loved each other. And I've seen that before, and I was like, that's so cool, because I've also seen videos too where people are like, oh, my nose is so annoying. I hate my nose. But then they look back and I go, oh, but that's my grandmother's nose. And I love my grandmother. And it's like, it just goes in line too with being kind to yourself, is you're also being kind to others in the same way.
Yeah.
So,
good. All right. Moving on. We're bringing it home. This is our #1 clip, the most viral clip of the Funjelah podcast thus far, and it is with my friend Nate Bargatze.
Hey,
I always say Nate Bargatze. I've said it my whole life that way, but other people say Bargatze. People say Bargatze. What does he say?
How does he say it?
Nate Bargatze. Bargatze.
Wait, what do I say?
How does he say?
Bargatze.
You say Bargat. I say Bargatze. But
what
it's probably
now I don't know what I
Bargatze.
say. Nate Bargatze. I think I say Nate Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze.
But it's
I
got
think
an A
Getzy.
in it.
I think I say Getzy.
What is the origin of that? Like, what is
I
that
don't know.
Polish?
There's an A. It's Gatsy. Bargatze. Bargatze. I think it's Bargatze.
Bargatze.
Google him
Italian?
introducing himself. Hey, it's me, Nate Bargatze. I think it's Bargatze. I'm pretty sure I hear him say Bargatze.
Okay. Wait. I know. I heard him in the Nashville airport.
Oh, that's right. My mom did too. That's funny.
Introduces himself. Let me find. There's so many episodes where it's like someone else is saying his name. Ugh.
Well, if they're saying it in front of him, well, no, he wouldn't correct him because if I'm saying it wrong, he's never corrected me.
I know. I'm trying to find. I literally Googled Nate Bargatze introduces himself, and it's all like his stand-up monologue. And I'm like, well, I know they don't like his SNL model. And I'm like, I know he doesn't say his name. He never says his own name. He's always introduced because he's a comedian. You never say.
Okay, how about this? I just Googled.
I was watching something yesterday in preparation for you coming in, and you said your name differently than I say your name.
Oh.
You are always Nate Bargatze to me, and then I heard you say Bargatze.
Oh,
Yes.
so I'm saying it right.
Bargatze.
I think we could say it wrong as our family. So you think maybe I'm right and you're wrong?
It's Bargatze is how he says it. So I say it right, Nate Bargatze.
Bargatze. I think that's what I say too. Bargatze.
Okay, good. We've been saying it right this whole time. All right.
Do you think that's Italian?
I don't know what he is.
Origin of Bargatze. Surname. It is.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Italian origin, Tuscany.
All right.
Cool.
I don't think of him as Italian. That's so funny. I don't know what I think of him as, but
That's why I literally.
I just think of him as Southern. That's it.
That's true. That's true.
Coming in at number 1, the number 1 most viral episode is our episode with Nate Bargatze. When you achieve something great in your career, or you've experienced something new, is there anyone in your family that you think of that, like, either I hope they're proud of me, I hope they're happy, impressed, or like, you know, we've talked about like trying to impress your daughter, but obviously that's, you know, she'll get it one day. But is there anybody in your family that you think of, like, when you first got Saturday Night Live and you're like, oh my gosh, and maybe it is your dad? Is it your dad or is it?
Yeah, my mom and my dad. Like, it was, I mean, I always wrote my material to impress my parents. I wanted them to be able to come to shows and not be like, you know, I didn't want them to be nervous about telling anybody they know my son does stand-up comedy, but don't watch it.
Right.
And so I always wrote to not disappoint them. And so I mean, I still do that now, and it'll be in everything that I ever do. Is I'm writing to impress 2 people, which is a little bit easier to do than write for 1 million people. So you just write for these 2 people, and I don't want to disappoint them. And I know the radar. I know you know, I always say it's like a panicky. I can feel like inside, if I feel some flutters and some panicky, you're like, well, I'm not really comfortable with this. And so then I go, we probably need to back out of this, or get out of this situation, or not do this, or fix this joke. Because there was some stuff I couldn't do at the beginning. There was a couple, I have like in my old stuff where I never cursed, but it was like I just said, you know, like it was just stuff that I regret for saying. Like whether the way I described it or the way I said it, it's never like it was super bad, but I just wasn't a good enough comic at the time to figure out a way to make that get a laugh without saying
it differently.
Yeah. And so I even asked my dad about it. I told, you know, like that, even when I did it, I was like, I think I have to say it this way. And I think it was like, don't be a bee about it. I don't want to say it, but it's like, because it just works with the joke, and that word is kind of harsh, and there's just a lot of comedic wise is why it just fit very good.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't good enough to figure a way to not do it.
Yeah.
And so as of now I have, but yeah. Basically, you write it for, you're not trying to please, you can't really please everybody. You can't, or you can try for, but if you can please a couple people. So whenever you do something, it's like you should have a, you know, somewhat of a gauge of who you're writing it for.
Yeah. So good. I remember this episode. I had so many personal questions that I wanted to ask, meaning like, I personally have been wondering this about you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was so cool that I get to ask him, what were you feeling during this? Like, how did it feel to do this? Who do you think of with this? And even after that episode, I remember Nate telling me like, thank you. Like, these were some really great questions that I rarely get to talk about these things. So thank you so much.
Really?
So I loved that. I love that I got to ask him some questions that, you know, allowed him to speak on things that he rarely gets to, but loves to, you know? And I remember I talked to his brother after it too. I went to Nate's Super Bowl party because he had a commercial in the Super Bowl. And I talked to his brother there, and even his brother was thanking me for the episode and being like, I got to hear my brother speak and talk about things that I rarely get to hear him talk about. So thank you so much for that. So that was pretty cool. And it was just a fun episode, and everybody loved it clearly, because who doesn't love Nate Bargatze?
I know. Which I think too is also such a goal of ours with this podcast, is to have these. I mean, I can't think, there's so many podcasts that you go on, and it's just, and I don't want to say this like in a negative way, but it's like you're just repeating, you know, your life story. And this, I like that we have this space so that we can get people to start thinking about things that they don't normally think about, and talk about things that they don't get a chance to talk about.
Yeah, I love that too. I love our podcast, you guys. Our podcast is so good. Like, tell all your friends.
Yeah.
Well,
we
this
can
is
keep doing this for more and more years.
Yeah.
You know?
I've enjoyed this. My hope and prayer for this podcast is that we continue to grow and evolve. And Danielle and I are still learning the podcast world.
Yeah.
And I just hope that our conversations will continue to, I don't want to say get better, but I want to learn to be better in interviewing someone. It's not even interviewing, it's just like having a conversation. But like I want to have conversations that other people are excited to listen to. Like, I can't wait to hear the next episode, because I love these types of conversations. I love the way they interact with people. I love the things that they ask people. Like, I want people to look forward to that when it comes to our podcast. And for everybody listening, if you've made it to the end, thank you so much. You are the reason why we're still here doing this. Yeah. So we appreciate you. We are grateful for you. Don't forget, call us or email us or go to my website. Tell us your MADtitude. Tell us your gratitude. Do you have a question you want to ask us? Do you need advice about anything? Reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. And thank you for 1 year of the Funjelah podcast. We've enjoyed it, and we hope you guys have too. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of Funjelah.